if you don't believe in yourself, then how can you expect others to believe in you?
Welcome to Winning the Game of Life. I'm your host Shawn Chhabra. Today I have a very special featured guest. She is a young author all the way from Australia. Her name is Danielle, and I don't have courage to say her last name. I can't pronounce that very well. She's an author of a book, like a fiction novel, Port Peter, which is based upon a real story and real history. So let us see what is this Danielle and her book about. Welcome to the show, Danielle. How are you?
Thank you. Good. How are you?
Good, good. I'm sure you are ready to inspire my listeners and viewers today.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so how about Danielle, you introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers?
Cool. Yes, I'm Danielle M Maistry. I just published my first novel called Port Arthur, and I'm very excited. It's a historical fiction piece of work, and it's actually based on the time when the convicts from England came over to Australia. So I did a lot of research, and it was great. So I really, really enjoy writing. And originally, I'm actually from South Africa, so I moved to Australia, and I think as a kid I've always just loved writing, and I've always been creative. So to have written a book, it's just a really great achievement for me.
So you're so young to do that. So how it just came about?
My family and I, we went on a holiday to Tasmania because we live in Victoria. So we went to Tasmania, and a part of our trip we went to Port Arthur. So Port Arthur is one of the convict settlements that are there, and the buildings are still up, and you can go in and you can really learn about how the convicts lived and what happened during that time. So we were given playing cards, and the playing cards that we were given, apparently they were assigned to a convict. So after you go on the tour of the place, you go into like this little place and you get to see which convict matched your playing card. So I got 3 of hearts. So I went through and I saw this little boy, and it was this cutout of this boy named Walter Paisley, and the little story that was on his card, it was about him. His friends got in trouble, so he decided to go into the cells where they were being punished, and no one was meant to go in there. So he went in there, he snuck in, and he started to tell jokes, but then he got in trouble and he got locked up. So to me personally, I just thought, this guy seems really funny, and so I started to do a little bit more research on him, and I think just his story as a convict, it kind of got me thinking about how they used to live back in those days. And ever since I was a little girl, I had this, and I went to Port Arthur, I had this image in my mind, and I had this thought in my mind. And I think as I grew older, I started to research about it, and eventually, I ended up writing a story which is based on his life.
So this is like a Kindle or like a self-published ebook or something, or you got a real print book?
Yeah, I do have a real print book. It's you can actually buy it on Amazon, but it's also on Kindle. It's on a few different platforms as well.
So you self-published, or you are associated with some publishing company?
No, I'm associated with a publishing company. They're an indie company called ASJ Publishing, and they are just amazing. They literally made my dream come true. So I'm very, very blessed to have met them.
Wow! Congratulations! You are so
young.
Thank
you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So this is your first book. So what next?
I have a lot of stories. But they're mainly in the historical fiction kind of genre, and as hard as it is sometimes writing about it, I think researching is what really intrigues me about writing about historical fiction. You get to see how people lived back in those days, and looking at really old records and reading articles and all those kinds of stuff. I think it's just really fun to research. So I've got a few books. At the moment, I've got one that I'm reviewing my draft over and over again, and that's actually based during the interwar years in England, and it just explores poverty and homelessness during World War I and World War II, and how the different classes, the higher class and the lower class, interact. And it's just about that. So that's very exciting.
So I see so much excitement on your face. So this is like becoming your passion or what?
Yeah, it is. It is. I see. For me, writing a book it was it was kind of like a distant dream. Like a lot of people have dreams, like oh, one day I'm gonna travel the world, or one day I'm gonna own a horse, or something. So it was just kind of like this dream that I had that I would have really loved to achieve, but I never really saw it. I never really thought it could happen until it actually happened. And so I'm kind of like, wow, if I can actually achieve one of my life dreams, then I can probably achieve, anything. So I think for me, it's been a passion of mine, and to have had it done, and to have made it possible, it's just amazing. And yes, I'm very excited
Yeah,
because it is possible. It is, honestly, it's possible.
anything is possible if you can think and look
Exactly.
forward. Yeah,
Exactly, that's right.
you are the living proof. You are so young, and you're still in college or something, or what?
Yeah, I'm actually I'm actually studying at the moment. So writing is like a hobby. And I used to write, and while I was studying, like during the year, and I found that I would just get so distracted. So I had to kind of force myself to just focus on study and focus on university, and then when I have my free time, then write. So I had trouble balancing the two, but eventually you learn how to make it work.
So do you plan to make this a career or just keep as a hobby?
That's actually a really good question. I think there's a part of me that would just love to write and love to create. But studying psychology, I think there's also another part of me that would love to help people. So I think I'd like to think that I can have the best of both worlds. So I think having a career in psychology and also having writing as a hobby, I think that works well for me.
That's very nice, wonderful. So you haven't figured out how to marry those two things together and have one career?
It's actually funny because I met someone who was doing a double degree in psychology and writing. So I was like, wow, you're actually doing my dream. Like, that is so cool. But I think sometimes I kind of think about, how that would work out. And I think at the moment it's going pretty well because, I do writing in my spare time, and then I'll obviously have my, psychology thing going on. And I think it's just about balancing the two worlds. And sometimes I'm an author, and I go on interviews, and I do book launches and all those kinds of stuff, and then sometimes I am a psychology student, and I think it kind of works out that way. In a perfect world, I'd love to be an author full time, but I would just, my passion for psychology is also there as well, so yeah.
Very nice. Good. So how about your family? Does your family support?
My family have been beautiful. They've been absolutely beautiful. My parents especially. My parents have done so much for me, and I'm really, really grateful for them. Just from just as a little girl, they've always just supported my dream for writing, and they've always been there, praying for me, and just been a massive support. And I think I wouldn't have been able to do it without them, because I've had book launches, I've had book signings, I've done all the stuff, and my parents have always been there to provide not only just like physical support, but also emotional support, because sometimes I get really discouraged. So I'd always go to them, and I think just having your parents there for you, and knowing that they are 100% for you, I think it's something that's really encouraged me, and that's kept me strong. My parents have been beautiful. My brother and his wife, they're also great as well. So yeah, I do have a very strong family base that have supported me through all of this, even from from right at the beginning up till now, and I know that further down the line they'll always be there for me. So I'm very blessed to have them.
So do you have a team or your family or somebody help you to do all the research for these books or not?
So for Port Arthur, because it's in Tasmania, I had to do a lot of emailing, and I had to find people that were willing to help just some random girl. I have no big name. I'm not some big author, so I think I did come across people who I'd ask questions and they'd kind of give me answers, and that was the end of that. But there were other people who really went that extra mile despite never meeting me or never knowing me, and so I think for this book especially, they were my team. They really helped me research, and I learned a lot from them. I think in general as an author, I don't really have a team as such. I think usually I kind of work on it myself, and then if I need advice or I need help, I tend to look for people who specialize in that area, especially for research, because historical fiction requires so much research. But yeah, I don't actually have a team, but I have a lot of people who are supporting me in various ways. So I think that's also great too.
So I think my listeners and viewers can see, like, you don't have to be a big name, and you don't need a real team. A lot of time you just get just for asking.
Exactly, and I think it's really important to ask people, because you will meet people out there who are really willing to help. And I was so blessed to have people that helped me with my novel. I had Mark Hosking, who knew a lot about my main character. I had Susan Hood, and I had people from various libraries and various places that really went that extra mile to help me. So it's all about asking, and when you ask, you end up finding the right people. And I think when you find the right people, that's when you can really extend yourself.
Like you said, you have been sending the emails and contacting people. You know how I find people?
Yeah.
I go outside and look in the sky and ask for help. And the minute I walk inside, something just fall on my lap. What I'm looking for.
No, that's good. No, honestly, it's good. Prayer helps as well. I do have, I do believe in God, and I think a lot of those times, a lot of things wouldn't have happened if I didn't pray. And I think that's just my personal belief. But I can't honestly stand here and say that I did everything myself, because there were many times, like you said, you pray, and then all of a sudden you meet someone, or someone emails you, or someone tells your parents that they know of someone, So I think that's very important as well.
Because a lot of time you even don't know what to ask for and where to look for those kind of help and people. Exactly,
and it's so amazing how sometimes you can pray, and it's just like the doors open, and sometimes you don't even have to go out and ask people. Sometimes they just come to you, and it's amazing when you actually sit down and you think about it.
I'm enjoying the conversation. Yeah, because there may be a lot of listeners and viewers on the fences. They may be thinking, well, I cannot do that. How do I do this? They have to open, and they have to just make a decision to do it. That's all they need to do.
Yeah.
They take the first step, and every other step, whichever direction it takes them, that's the journey. And
exactly.
You are a living proof that you are just doing part-time, and you're having fun, and you're going to the university, and you're still already a big name there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good. It's really great.
So is there any special advice for young people like you in America here, or all my listeners around the globe? They should be like doing whatever you're doing, something like that?
I think the main thing I could probably say is just a word of encouragement. I think sometimes when we have dreams and we have passions, we can get really discouraged, and I think we can kind of look around us and we say, well, how can I ever be as good as this person in my field when I'm just here? And I think one thing that's very important is to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, then how can you expect others to believe in you, if that makes sense? There's a saying, or I heard someone say something, and it was just basically saying that you are your number one fan. And there's been many times when I've done the wrong thing and I've put myself down, and then I have to step back and say, you know what? If you're putting yourself down and you're saying a certain thing, how can you expect others to like your book when you're putting your book down, or you're putting your work down? So I think if I could encourage anyone to do anything, it's just to have faith in yourself and believe in yourself, and always encourage yourself, because you're the one that has the power and has the strength to do what you set out to do. So I think that is just a really important thing to always remember.
That is a very, very important point. You should have some self-value and self-worth. You should look in the mirror, and in the mirror, your mind should see your own hero.
Exactly.
Because if you don't like yourself, why other people will like? Even if you had no respect for yourself, or you had no respect for your book, or you had no respect for your work, or whatever life you're living. So if you think you are trash, maybe everybody else will think you are trash.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And that's why I always say, just you have the power to change your mind, to change your thoughts. And so I think knowing that first and actually deciding to take the step and act on it is very, very important.
Yes, once you decide, once you make up your mind, like once you have decided you want to do this, or you want to achieve this, eventually your body, mind, soul, and everything will align, and all the thought process will start working in the direction to achieve it.
That's right.
So
that's exactly right.
Then there is no question left, like I want to do it or not. It's not even a question how I want to do it. How will be solved once you make a decision to do it.
That's right. Shawn, you're a genius.
So I'm really enjoying it. We are very close to the end of the show.
Oh wow! It's gone so fast.
Yeah, time goes fast when you are enjoying and you're talking for your passion.
Exactly.
So we were talking about in the last question, you was telling, like, you make a decision and you do it. So think about that. Like I work all day. I was running a wholesale computer business. It's end of the day. Like it's like 7:30 p.m. here. I'm in America right here. So everybody's gone home. And I'm not going home just to watch TV. I'm staying at work here and interviewing you today. That's how you pursue your passion. That's how you achieve it. You have to go an extra mile.
Exactly.
So same way, like you are going to university, but at the same time, on your spare time, on your part time, you are just trying to not just go out, party and have fun. You are just trying to write and do the research and put your head into that. And at the same time, you're enjoying it.
Yes. Oh, I love it. It's so good.
So before we leave, like I want you to tell my listeners and viewers how they can find you if they want to connect with you, or how they can buy the book.
Oh yeah, great. So I do have a Facebook page. If you search Danielle M Maistry, Maistry is Maistry, you'll be able to find my page, and usually I update that continuously. I also have a blog on WordPress, which is just Danielle M Maistry. And I also have, so with my books, they're available on the internet. So you can search on Amazon, and through Amazon you can also get the hard copy and the paperback. The paperback. Sorry, stuff that one up. On Amazon you can actually get the paperback version and the Kindle version as well. But it's just, all you have to do is just Google my name, and it'll come up.
We will be putting your name and all the links and everything, but I wanted my listeners and viewers to hear in your voice.
Oh, great. Okay.
And I'm sure, like, I would like to invite you once you launch the next book.
Oh, that'll be brilliant. Yes, that'll be great.
And I wish I can help you in the next research.
Thank you.
So, okay. Thank you for coming. And
thank you very much.
We enjoyed, and thanks, guys.
Thank you.
LaptopUniverse.com CEO Indu Chhabra announced the launch of BuybackQueen.com. This newly launched reverse e-commerce website buys back used old electronics, old iPhones, iPads, and all other smart devices directly from the consumers. You should not throw your old phone away because your trash may be hitting gold. Buyback Queen wants your old device and will pay top dollars for it. The process is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Fast payments, free shipping, free data wipe, risk-free transaction. Let us make the world a cleaner place and make money by selling our device on buybackqueen.com.